What's up, y'all? It's TracyVA of TracyVA Media. Welcome to my podcast. I finally got a name. And yes, that's my son in the back. I finally got a name for my podcast. So we're just gonna go ahead and go with a relevant podcast. I know I was saying real, relevant, and resonating, but I was like, that is way too long. So I'm just gonna do a relevant podcast because everything I talk about is real relevant, and I consider myself relevant. All right, so it's been a while since we did an episode, but let's go ahead and get into what we've been seeing in the media lately, and I want to discuss all these things. Okay, so just know that we're talking about what's happening to get an understanding, and you already know that everything that goes on in the media is a mirror of our personal lives, and that's what my podcast is about. So I want to talk about what we're talking about today. So first off, we got men in leadership. That is a topic I've been wanting to discuss, so we're going to dive into that. What makes a man a leader? Why people are talking about moving out of the U.S., the J. Cole hate train, and let's talk the Super Bowl. So I just want to go ahead and dive in on my thoughts about this. With everything that's going on in the world, it is only the first month of 2026, and what I'm realizing is that things are getting a lot more hectic when it comes to people's thoughts and openly expressing their thoughts on these specific topics. People are getting real passionate. We're seeing a big shift. Y'all know I'm always about what is actually going on in the universe. That's how I am. One prediction somebody had before we went into 2026 was people are going to start being more real, and education is going to come to the forefront. So not just being trendy, the definition of influencer is changing. Now it's education. So this is perfect for me, okay? Like, I feel like that's why all of a sudden I'm becoming super expressive, because now I feel like I have a space, before I didn't. And I say that because I'm somebody I consider myself a very real person. I am who I am, and I express that. If people don't like it, then I'm like, oh well. And I'm a very deep person. Like, I like to deep dive into things. I have just, different things I'm into, and I like to get an understanding of life. And, throughout the years, since we've seen like the rise of like social media, I don't really feel like I've ever had a place, because I don't care for trends. Like, I am a trend. Like, I set trends, but I'm not somebody that actually follows trends, if you know what I mean. And besides that, like, I can only speak on what I care about. I can't just speak on something because it's trendy. If I talk about something, it's because I am passionate about it. So I'm glad that that's where we're moving in for 2026, because I feel like I could fit there. Now, all these topics, I feel like I got a connection to every single one of these topics. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So let's talk about men in leadership first off. So I'm seeing a lot of conversations on social media about what is the definition of a leader.
I think children need to be led. I think pets need to be led. Women are adults. If you are a man who's chosen to be in a relationship with another adult, you guys are partners. Nobody needs to lead anybody. I think whoever is the best at a certain thing should probably be in charge of that thing. If my girl is an accountant and she went to school for like business and she's super duper good with finances, should I lead, quote unquote, in finances just because I have a penis? Like, I don't think tasks should be assigned to us based on genitals. I think tasks should be assigned to us based on who is the most qualified and who does that task the most proficiently. Because we clearly have people that don't adhere to all of the set gender roles that society has for us. And instead of saying, hey, like, what works for us? People just go, well, neither of us are following the rules to a T. Then things go to shit. Moral of the story, nobody needs to lead. You're two adults and your partners. Go off of whoever is best at doing.
Because we all know that men, they all want to be leaders. Women are always talking about, I want a man to lead me. But what is the actual definition of leadership? And with me, I have found that a lot of people get leadership confused with dominance. And when I say people, I say men. To be a leader, you have to be cool, calm, and collected. You can't be a leader that's emotionally based. You have to be a leader that is logical and that's able to assess situations and then tackle it the way you feel like you need to tackle it. But dominance is more like emotional based. Like, I want to control this and I want to control this, so therefore I'm going to say this. And that's just not a leader. A leader is understanding, and leader listens. A leader is not reactive. And that's another thing I feel like goes under dominance is I see a lot of men are very quick to react and they're reactive, but they don't understand that my son in the back. They don't understand that dominance is just not the way to go. Okay, to lead, you have to know what you're doing, and you have to be confident in yourself, and you also have to be a great listener too. To be a leader, you have to have an understanding of your opponent or whatever congregation or organization you are leading. So I want to see less dominance. Chosen. He's over here like doing like this. Just let him be, y'all. But so a leader is not just somebody that's dominant. Like, another thing too, a leader doesn't have to tell people that they're a leader, because just the way they carry themselves and their aura and the way they sound, people naturally follow. I feel like a dominant person is somebody that speaks to their dominance, like King Kong, like that's not a leader. Like, and if you're a woman that's watching this and you want to know what a leader is, if a man has to say that he's a leader, that man is not a leader. A real leader doesn't have to talk about their role and talk about who they are, because they are just that. Um, yeah. So visibility versus responsibility. Why people confuse being loud with being solid. How culture rewards performance more than character. And of course, leadership is to control, it's accountability when no one is watching. Okay, another topic I want to get into is my mother is jealous of me. I want to go ahead and pull up this video.
Mothers are jealous of their daughters because they grow up to be amazing women, and they know that they didn't have a hand in treating that woman right to be treated like that or to act like that. The way that they treated her, she was supposed to be a crash out. She was supposed to bend and gave up on life. But because she believed in herself and she put it in herself that she's not going to be a statistic and she's not going to be what y'all projected onto her, they hate that about you. Some mothers hate the fact that they had daughters that go out here and they're bold, they're not fearful, they don't let life scare them, they live this life shit, they don't let life drive them crazy. Some mothers hate the fact that their daughters are beautiful and get attention without even trying. Some mothers hate the fact that their daughters get the love from men or the men or her man that the mother never got, or it took her forever to get. Some mothers hate that their daughter loved themselves enough to not even put themselves in some of the situations that she didn't love herself enough not to put herself in. And that is why some women really hate their daughter.
So I have never been this woman, but when I was in high school, I've experienced, being around a lot of women that have a mother that's jealous of them. And I really never understood it. Like, how could you be jealous of your own child? You created that person. And the goal, I always felt like we had the common sense. The goal is to have your child better than you. So how could you be angry that the child ends up looking better than you? How could you be irritated when that child ends up being more educated than you or better than you? Me, I'm a mother of 2 kids. I want my children to be better than me. And I could never find myself being jealous. Like, my daughter, she is so gorgeous, and every day I tell her how beautiful she is. And I love that. Like, I'm not comparing, beauty isn't everything, but it's like oh my gosh, like she has these full natural set of lashes, big thick eyebrows. Like she don't need no makeup. Y'all see I got my lash extensions on, by the way. Shot my rare stare lashes. But she don't need this, okay? And I don't either, but you know, being a girl, we like to have our thing. So I could never understand why women, mothers would be jealous of their children. We see mothers just compare themselves and talk down on their children. And I really do feel like it's got to be like some type of mental illness. Like, I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. And especially with time, you know, as generations go on, of course, the children are going to be better than you because you know, we always have to learn from a newer generation and so on and so on. It's like, you know, that's just how life is. It's just like you're peeling back layers and then you're coming down to this core eventually. And this core eventually becomes the standard of what things should be. And, you know, that's just how I always see life. Real quick, I have a story of a friend I had in high school. Her mother would always talk bad about her body or talk bad about her hair. Like, she's a dark skinned girl, and I think dark skinned girls are gorgeous, of course, and she was beautiful. I would always tell her that. And she would like to wear like colorful nails, and her mother would always say, you don't need to be wearing colored nails. You're a dark skinned woman. And to this day, I just see that. I find that crazy because a dark skinned woman can't wear bright nail polish. Like, that just always disturbed me. So when I think of this topic, I do think of her, and I don't know where she's at now, but I remember like the having to experience the trauma that she was going through and her having to come to school and just always feeling like she had to, you know, dress a certain way or carry herself a certain way. I think she ended up marrying a white man. But nothing wrong with interracial couples, but that's how much the impacts like her black mother had on her. Like, she wanted to step away from that because she, you know, I really hope she ended up being a better mother than she was, because you know that's very rare in its own that someone that goes through a lot of trauma like that, they always end up being worse than their parent. So I really hope that that's not the case. Chosen. Yeah, so I just really hope that's not the case. um but yeah, wherever she's at, I don't understand how anybody could be jealous of their child. Has this ever been you? Drop it down below in the comments. So seeing your child as competition is insane, like especially at your old ass age. You know, usually our parents are like what, 60 years old by now, 50. Chosen, come here, boy. Everybody say hi, Chosen. So, say hi. Y'all, for those that are listening to the audio, my son is just like looking right into the camera and looking at me like this is the coolest shit ever. Say hi, Chosen. But yes, I would never understand women at their old ass age would see their children as competition. Like, that's just the craziest shit to me. But let's go ahead and move on. Sometimes jealousy isn't hatred, it's unresolved identity. And let me touch on that real quick before we move on to the next topic. I kind of have grace for it because, you know, back in the day, having an identity, especially like black women, like having an identity was just so like you're a disgrace. But now we see like black women are, you know, doing whatever they want to do, and I love it. Yes. But I can kind of see why some jealousy would curate, because you look at that child and they're like, oh my gosh, they're so out there. They're wearing their hair like this and they're dressing like this and they're talking like this. I couldn't do that back in my day, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me being an Aquarius or whatever, but I'm big on change and I always expect change. So when I do see a change or a shift, or even when I'm an old woman and I see a young girl, I'm not going to be like, oh my God. I'm going to be like, I just see it as this is us just getting to whatever our core is. You know what I'm saying? Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. But moving on to the next topic, let's talk about everybody is moving out of the US real quick. Everybody on social media is talking about they want to move out of the United States. And I actually love that for them. Why? Because I feel like a lot of people are complaining about America, but they don't realize that all you got to do is get a passport, do some other things, and then move on about your merry way and go to another country. Shoot, I see a lot of people moving to Africa these days. Like, go ahead. You could do that. You could do that. I don't know what the requirements are to move to another country, but from what I know, from what I have a passport. So hey, I could go. Maybe gotta get like a little COVID test or whatever. But yeah, there's no there's no issue with that. So I actually love that everybody's moving out of the US because why not? Go experience something else. And there probably is something better out there. I don't know yet. I'm going to definitely take my time and do some research. But lately, it's crazy because I've been thinking about New Zealand. I had a dream recently that I was in New Zealand. I'm like, where the fuck is New Zealand? Is going to shit. Especially because of ice and everything that's going on outside. By the way, which is very valid because what is actually going on? And have we been misled? That's the question I've been asking myself a lot. Because you know how they talk about America, like, America, the free and opportunity and stuff. But I don't know. Maybe I just need to do my research. But what y'all think? Do y'all think America is really like that, though? Like, for real? Because it's very easy to brainwash. And as we could tell, America has brainwashed us a lot. It starts in the school system. Yeah, like, there's got to be something else better out there. What I can say with America, and besides ICE, is it's just not fair. Like, doesn't China have like free healthcare, or is that Canada? I'll have to do my research, but there's got to be something else better out there. And I truthfully feel like the way we live life is unnecessary. Like, I feel like we're doing entirely way too much. I have my own philosophy on things, but like, even like when I think about this, like, even like the ways our bodies are set up, like, y'all know, with stress, we have a limit. Like, stress can actually kill us. So that tells us all we need to know. We weren't created to be stressed individuals. Now, is stress a positive thing sometimes? It sure is, because you need to be under pressure to get amazing things done or to evolve. So stress can be a good thing, but like financial stress and occupational stress and all those other stressors, it's just unnecessary. And I really do feel like we weren't even meant to live this way. And I have to blame America for a lot of that. Like, not even just the world, because there's gotta be, something's gotta give, like, there's gotta be some simplicity or relaxation in some areas of life, because life is hard. Like, even the way we have to navigate our lives every day, you step outside and your ass can die. You gotta watch your diet, because you eat one wrong thing and you could get a disease. Like, it's a lot. And they just expect so much out of us, and I don't feel like they give us like any wiggle room to like even be humans. Like, I feel like day by day, especially like in the media, I feel day by day we're being pulled away from our humanity. Hence why ICE is running rapid right now, because it just all goes back to control, like I was talking earlier. And I completely understand for that. I completely understand why anybody would want to leave the America, because there probably is something better out there. My family is from Panama. I never lived out of Panama. I've been but I didn't go like at an older age to where I could like tell you guys like, yeah, like it's better over here. So I don't know that now. Hopefully this year I experience traveling out the country, but I don't know the answers. I hear what people say, but then again, what I realized is America does have a way of brainwashing us. So, that might just be a part of the plan. We probably can leave, but we just feel like we can't. So if you are somebody that is thinking about leaving the country, drop it in the comments, tell me why. And if you're somebody that doesn't want to leave the country, what is your reason? Because that's another thing too. If you don't got no family relying on you or nothing like that, your ass should go. You should get the fuck on. All right, so that's that. Let's move over to everyone is deleting TikTok. You already know over the weekend. I'm not gonna get too much into that. People are deleting TikTok because y'all saw America, complete the deal to get TikTok, and after the day after that, TikTok went down. Everybody's algorithm was on zero. Crazy, right? Not a coincidence. Yeah. It's a whole lot of weird stuff happening. But besides that, are you keeping TikTok, or let me know if you're deleting it? I'm gonna keep my TikTok because I care about my following there, and until Instagram maybe gives us a little bit more algorithm help, then I'll probably go on over to I'll probably delete TikTok. TikTok has an amazing algorithm though. Like I'm talking about, it really gives you a chance to get yourself in front of the people. Instagram, they're trying their best to, fix that, but they got to do a little bit more. And something else that's been on my mind a lot lately is algorithm. Who created that? And what is even an algorithm for? Why can't things just be chronological order? I don't know. Maybe I think too. Real, relevant, and resonating. Like I said, real, relevant, and resonating is my mind. The things I think about. J. Cole. J. Cole has released Blizzard. I don't know the full name. I'll drop it right here. But yeah, J. Cole gave us 4 tracks, freestyles, on the night before his birthday. They're all hard. They all go crazy, showing off his rap skills. You already know what be going on, Cole world. There's a whole lot of J. Cole hate, and I've done enough posts on this on my TikTok already, but I really do feel people are just jealous of J. Cole. I feel like people are just jealous of J. Cole. And when I say that, that's not coming from an emotional space, not because he's my favorite rapper, but it's like, I feel like people have just always been just picking at him and always just looking for something. Like the man can rap his ass off. He shows up, he's really about what he raps. And it seems like people can't stand that. And people are just trying to find every reason to just crucify him. And yeah, I saw what Fat Joe said on that one podcast. BS. I'm seeing what the timelines are saying. BS. I already know Cole's gonna kill all that noise though when he drops the off season. So hey, I'm not that worried. But as for like the whole Kendrick Lamar and Drake situation, people just won't let that go. And I don't even think it's because of what happened. I really think it's because people just been waiting for Cole chosen. People have just been waiting for Cole to do something that they could talk about. Here. And they got something with that. But Cole is the GOAT. I want to talk about what he said about JID in the mixtape. So as for JID, I'm a fan of JID. I think JID is a great rapper as well. But we're gonna have to somebody's gonna have to help him out though with the hits. I need something catchy. Like the last thing I liked was what was that? Get on my I liked that song, but I'm gonna just need more. It's cool that he can rap his ass off. That's true, but can we get like a classic? Can we get one of those? Yeah, I listened to his first 2 projects, and after that, I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. He can rap, but what else? Like, can you give me a track that I feel like I want to keep on repeat? But rap is music at the end of the day. I feel like people get too caught up on rap being just a sport. Rap is music too. So it's like, you can rap your ass off, but if you can't make a great song, then, what does that really mean? You might, go ahead and go into rap battling, if that's the case, if you just want to show off like how good you can rap, but you're a musician at the end of the day, and it's like, I want to see you make a really great song or a great track, give me one of those. And as for Cole taking himself out the big three, like I already said, it's just Cole. It's just Cole in my opinion. Lastly, let's talk the Super Bowl. I'm gonna go through this quick, but Patriots is going off to the Super Bowl. I'm not surprised. I went on my TikTok months ago when Cardi B released that she was pregnant. I said, watch. And then after that, they released Bad Bunny is going to be the Super Bowl performer. As I know, people are consumers, so a lot of things go over their head, but working in media, this shit is not going over my head, okay? Y'all announced Cardi B dropped the album. Then after that, she hopped on Gayle King and released that she's pregnant with Stephon Diggs. Okay, yeah, Stephon Diggs. They released that she was pregnant with Stephon Diggs. The day after that, they released that Bad Bunny's performing. Okay. Like, patterns is a real thing, right? I feel like this is also type of big master plan, and like, what is it though? I don't know. Yeah, so and now Patriots are and Stephon Diggs is going to the Super Bowl. And if you paid attention to all the interviews and all the media of that day, it's all interviews of Cardi B. Did Cardi B play in the game? Yeah, so Cardi B is going to be in them stands, but I know she's also going to be on that stage. And somebody asked me, Tracy, why did you think that? Why do you think that? Well, why wouldn't they do that? Why wouldn't the Super Bowl or the NFL take an opportunity to get all the numbers that they can? And they did this with last year with Taylor Swift and Kendrick Lamar. This whole triangulation situation. Big artist has something to do with the artist that's dating the player, and yeah, because if they can't get views off of the halftime performance, can they at least get views of the couple, in the stands? So I just see past the curtain, but I already know Cardi B is going to be on that stage. And I don't really know what exactly is the bigger angle here, but I do find it pretty weird because is this even a real game at this point? And also, is this relationship even real? And did she get pregnant just for this? Like those are the things I'll be thinking about when I see, how everything is just playing out. But I don't think it's a coincidence. I think this is all a part of some master plan. But regardless, I think that's pretty weird. I think that's pretty weird. But hey, I'm gonna let time tell it. And I'm just gonna go ahead and sit and watch from the stands of everything that's going on in the year of 2026. But let me know your thoughts on this year so far. Let me know your thoughts on any of these topics. But I don't think I will be watching the Super Bowl because, I fucks with Bad Bunny, I fucks with Cardi B, but I don't care. I don't care enough. I'd rather just spend my night eating some good food, hanging out with the kids, So I don't think it's gonna be that much worth it. But this is TracyVA of A Relevant Podcast. And make sure you follow me on Instagram at TracyVAmedia, TikTok at TracyVAmedia. Leave me a comment down below. And once again, y'all, I'm gonna see y'all next time. And this concludes A Relevant Podcast.